let's stick with
So,
your first deployment. All right. So like you get back from AIT and all that stuff for armor,
yeah.
and now you're getting ready to make the jump over the pond, and you're with the guard unit, or you're with
No,
one
I
seven.
was active duty. I was in 1-7 Cav, which is First Cavalry Division on Fort Hood.
Okay, wow. Okay, so talk us through that. Like, what was the workup like for that deployment? What was the deployment like? Where did you go?
So first deployment was F2. That's where we went to Baghdad. Is what kind of prompted us to get worked up. But as far as getting trained up, we were just learning mount. So I think we had, who was it, fifth group came out and was teaching us mount before we deployed because they were seeing the pitfalls. They had just gotten back themselves because they were in three. So they came over and kind of taught us the lessons learned and all that stuff. So it was very interesting because it didn't matter what job you had, they were pulling people like to go do PSD stuff and um, all that. So for me, I got pulled from the motor pool because I didn't deploy as a tanker. They deployed me as a tank mechanic.
Okay. Oh, dude, you were busy.
Yeah. I got pulled from them to be part of the S5, if you know what
Oh,
S5 is.
yeah.
So the civil affairs psyop special forces liaison team, their little security detail that's attached to our brigade and our unit, our squadron. So
So for anybody that doesn't know, like I was just thinking my brain just shorted out. I was like, wait, hold up. Um Mount, that's military operations and
operations, urban
urban terrain,
team. Yep.
right? So
Yep.
it's kind of like a big deal.
Yeah.
People get trained up for. Okay, cool. So you're over there. You're a mechanic for armor. I bet you're turning wrenches like it's nobody's business.
Nope. I
No.
Not once did I turn a wrench. That's what I'm saying. I got pulled from that mission to be S5. So once I got assigned to S5, I got pulled into what they called Task Force 626 Baghdad, which we were hunting some nasty dudes like Sadr and Zarqawi and all those guys back when that was an actual thing. Um, so I would sometimes work at a Camp Slayer, if you know where that's at.
So this is what 2003 into four,
2004. This is
2004.
2004, 2005.
So when y'all came in to Baghdad, did you guys hit the green zone first?
No. So we were the first base. They used to call it Camp Falcon, and then it was like the first one that had like 30 or 40-foot walls as soon as you come in before you start going up to make the turn that goes into biop, and then you have the green zone split. So it was actually the first um, post that was outside.
So this is crazy, right? Like, and for people watching this, like me and Angry have not like talked about this, but I was in Baghdad from '03 into '04 with the 2nd Armored Cavalry Regiment, right? And we got extended for like the third time in
It's
April
crazy.
of
Yeah.
2004. But first Cav, we had first Cav that we ripped out with,
Yeah.
and they just got annihilated on Route
Yeah.
Irish. Was
Yeah,
that
we
your unit, or was that at your sister unit?
no, it was another unit. I think the northern part. We actually secured Route Iris so well that we turned it from black to where it was green at one point.
Do you know what's crazy is that the whole entire time we owned that highway,
Yeah.
we took contact on it twice.
It's crazy, right?
That's it. And
And
then we ripped out, and then all
and
of a
it just
sudden,
yeah. So we lot there was a lot of civilians killed on that, like some Blackwater guys and stuff like that. So it was pretty crazy, man. It took the whole deployment to the point where they were talking about extending us for third ID, just our squadron to cover that whole route Irish from the beginning of Baghdad all the way up to Biop, because we cleared it out of all the BS. But you're talking about putting a tank and a Bradley like every 100 meters, just all
Yeah.
the way down that thing.
Dude, we used to just send it because we had Humvees, right? So we'd redline all the way to Biop and
Oh yeah,
back, man.
oh yeah.
Like
Same.
doors open, war wagon
Yeah,
style, guns
it was
out the
this.
doors.
Yeah, it was the same with us. We lost, I think, 5 total that first deployment on
Mhm.
Route Irish. One was an RPG that went through the door and stuck into one of the guys, and we lost another one that was a Bradley crew member. Um, he was a TC, and they had a IED explode, and it went down through his helmet, his CVC, his crew helmet, and then a couple other stuff. I mean, just the normal
First back got
EFPs.
hit hard.
Yeah.
I mean, like we got extended essentially because it was like I don't know, like you hear stuff when you're like lower enlisted, and it's like, dude, but we ripped over to Sadr City, and like it got taken back by the Mahdi army, like that, and
We
before you
we
know it,
were part of clearing that out.
oh, were
Us
you? That
and
was
our
your
sister unit,
okay.
27. I mean, that was,
That was a dogfight.
yeah, it was nasty. Najaf, I was in Najaf. Um,
When were you in Najaf? Because we were there with 237 Armor, the Dukes
we
from first
so I was assigned to the PSYOP unit that was there. So it was around the April, May time frame.
of 2004.
Back when everything was blowing up.
Dude, we were literally there at the
Yeah.
same time.
It's crazy, dude. We got into a lot of firefights. It's the
We
first time I've ever used a 203 on somebody.
So you were what were you, Camp Baker or Golf?
No, we were traveling.
Oh,
So we actually would roll up with not only the PSYOP guys, but the ODA team that we were with, and we just occupy a house and just
okay.
set security, and then move on to the next one.
Oh, dang.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was like nomad life for quite some time. I mean, there was a point in time where we were out in the desert and we just circle up our vehicles and just dig a hasty,
Bro,
plop in it.
we had berms pushed up
No,
in the middle of the desert by engineers.
no, we didn't have that support, dude. We just dug a hasty and you know pull security. That's
Dude, I
about
got a
it.
funny story we can talk about after all this. Like you'll love it. You remember the camel spider problems
Oh
out there?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
dude, I got a funny one for you.
yeah.
But,
I've dropped ordnance on a date farm because there's a weapons cache in there. Right, we are going
mhm.
in. I happened to be the point man, and I walked in and I looked up and all around, and there was camel spiders all over the walls and ceilings, and right there was the cache.
Oh,
And I
no.
was like, nope, I'm out. I told him, hey, we need to do something else because I'm not going in there, and I don't think EOD is going to go in there. So
Nobody's going.
EOD, yeah, EOD came in and they were like, all right, y'all can call in close air, and that's what we did. We dropped ordnance on it.
Those things are fast and
Yes,
furious.
yeah.
But all right, man. So you go to Iraq. Is there anything that like happened that first deployment to Iraq that you're just like it really stuck with you and like kind of changed how
Yeah,
you
I kind of wish I sent you a picture. I've got a couple photos, one from CNN of me running with a little girl after we were hit. We were hit with 3 VBIEDs and took I don't I don't know how many rounds of fire, but it was just massive. And at one point, one of the VBIEDs that went off, the engine shot into her house and caught her house on fire. And I actually went in and got her out because the mom was like, missed him, pointing at the house.
it's a
She's
pretty
like,
famous photo.
yeah,
I already know what you're talking about, man.
yeah. So I'm running with her down the street while they're, you see blown up cars behind me and stuff like that. So luckily on that one, we had a medic go down. He didn't die, but he lost a limb. But 35 children were killed during that. It was what's that little village? I can't even remember. But we
Uh,
were
I'll
opening.
cut.
What's that?
I'll cut.
No, 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 no. It was actually in Baghdad. It was by I can't even remember the market. That was so long ago.
Was
But
it Martyr Square?
no,
No.
no,
I don't know. I was in like sector 13 in Baghdad. That's when they had sectors.
yeah, no. We actually controlled it. So if you think about Route Irish and how it starts here when you're coming into Baghdad and then it does this big loop to Biop, we
Hmm.
covered everything south of that.
Okay.
So we had we had quite a massive area, but we I was actually out there pulling security for civil affairs at the time because we're opening up a water treatment pump station.
Oh yeah.
So
That's what's up. Hey, let me plug this in. I think
sure,
so. You get through that deployment. You know, the big thing for you is like, hey, I went over as a mechanic. I got reassigned to S5. Then I got opconned over to
a task force, like
task
a
force.
big task force.
And
So
you're getting to literally live your dream in real life. Like I get to go out there and make a really big. You go from being a brush to a scalpel.
yeah,
So that's really big. So what's it like? Um, well, before I ask you that, just to put it in perspective for people, like 2004 on in Iraq was a dogfight everywhere you
yeah,
went. Um, so it's fair to say that you saw an insane amount of contact in
yeah.
combat. Um, and
For being
you're
good.
how old?
I think I was 22 at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For a 22-year-old, you've been exposed to a crap ton
yeah,
of warfare, and now you're coming home.
right.